This, ladies and gentlemen, is the most important. Well, I'm going to say most important just so you listen, but it's not the most important. I just want to be honest. I was going to be some captivity, some cap activity happening just there. Okay. This is what we refer to as an information gap. As an information gap, I refer to it as an IG. An information gap. The way that you accelerate and move faster in your education, faster in your income, the way you go from learn to earn is close the information gap. Now this I got to really break down so you get it. Somebody tell me what business they're in. Really quick. Teach people how to trade options, right? So that's stock market, right? So stock market. So that means here's where he's at with the stock market. That's his information. But if he's moved from the place of that level 1 of learning the skill set, that he knows the information, he's now moving into teaching the information to other people. But the information gap might be how to find the people, how to generate more leads, how to price his products, how to operate it, how to get enough traction to his business, how to grow exposure, right? So that means if this is the goal, and every step of the goal is different money marks, right? It's money and it's information on top of it. This is the information, here's the money underneath it, every step of the journey. Every single step of the journey. Now in between that though, what's required of the person, how much am I willing to invest to close this gap? Learning on your own takes time, energy. When people say, I can just Google it, you know Google only answers questions you ask it, right? If you don't know what questions to ask, and people in this space that I'm in, you do know we rigged the internet, right? So when you type best restaurants, that's not the best restaurant. Best coaches in Atlanta, that's not the best coach. It's the one who was willing to spend the most money to get in front of a client. So every step of your journey, you close the information gap by figuring out what you want and investing into someone to turn decades into days. A coach's job is to compress time into a strategy and simplified form to now accelerate your learning curve. Is everybody getting this? I tell people, you don't want to take on more than two information gaps at a time. If you say, hey man, I'm going to create a course. You got an information gap on courses. I'm going to run ads. I'm going to learn how to run ads. You got an information gap on running ads. Yeah, I'm going to do the graphics. You got an information gap on graphics. I'm going to do content. Information gap on content. I'm going to do webinars. Information gap on how to do a webinar. You got 4 or 5 information gaps, and you're trying to at one time juggle all of them, and this is what confuses us. Not willing to invest to close the gap on any of them, so you're juggling all of them. How many people can agree this is where you've been? You got a lot of information gaps, and then I'm going to hop on that IG Live. Gyms. That's a bar. Run the play. and you got notes and notes and notes and notes. And you're like, but what do I do? You got to close the gap. You don't want multiple. This is what I've learned in my journey. That people live in this space. That's what I want. That's where we started. What do you want? Here's where I am. The distance between where I am and where I want to end up is my information gap. How much am I willing to invest in it? How much am I willing to invest to close the information gap? When we talk about funnels, I couldn't possibly teach you all I've learned about funnels since 2015. So I close the gap as quickly as possible by explaining to you which one you need and understanding how to drive traffic to it. You just focus on the traffic, we build the system. Now if you want to learn the system, that's going to widen it, it's going to expand the time, it's going to confuse you, because now you got to learn some basics. You got to learn psychology, you got to learn thought reversal, you got to learn what we call emotional education. This is where you indoctrinate someone with your message that they connect what they learn to an emotion. So you're going to learn all of that to build a funnel? Customer journey, how to overcome internal objection, external objection. You're going to learn all of that. Okay, come on. It's going to expand the time. Everybody getting this? Yes? Is anybody identifying this is your next level? These are your next levels. To close the information gap, and the level of investment gets higher and higher, but the payoff gets bigger and bigger.